Okay.
For many of us, time is our most plentiful resource, but for all of us, it is our most valuable. This is a subconscious fact that we all know. We think, plan, and act, knowing to make the most of our futures. But sometimes, we make a decision that wasn't quite right. Maybe it's one that hurts our futures or harms our growth. When we do this, we feel regret. It's a rather unpleasant feeling. Regret is a strong emotion, but it is not uncommon. In fact, everyone in this room has regrets of their own. So while becoming is easy, overcoming it is not. So that's why I want to tell you about my story of regret, overcoming regret, and how that can help you. For 5 years, from 5th grade to 10th grade, I learned the piano. I practiced, I took lessons, and I learned new music. It sounds perfect, because I'm lying, kind of. I practiced for maybe 3.5 to 4 years, but around that point, I started to practice less and less. It felt to me like a poor use of my free time to struggle moving my fingers around while staring at a sheet of paper with lines and dots. I'm not quite sure when exactly I obtained this profound mindset, but it did not help me at all with learning music. Eventually, I got a summer job, as most juniors do, and it was the convenient excuse that I needed to stop playing piano altogether. And even though I had stopped playing piano, it still felt like a part of my identity. If someone would ask me, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? I would say, I like to play the piano, even though I hadn't touched it in 6 months, to maybe even a year. So, when my senior project rolled around, I had a good idea for what I wanted to do. I thought to myself, how about I prove it to myself that I could have done it? I could have practiced more. I could have been prepared for my lessons, and I surely could have learned that music. And as you may know, the senior seminar class is more than just the project. It also includes research, usually in an area closely related to your project. For me, I chose the history of piano. And while I love learning about history, and I thought it was very fascinating, it was not very relevant for this talk. The part that was relevant was the last research assignment I did, where I found a poll about my topic. It was one asking people about their musical experiences, and in that poll, one question in particular was interesting. It asked, of people who had played the piano and stopped playing, do you regret quitting? The answers were not what I expected. I found that 48% of participants said that they regretted quitting. Nearly half of all respondents, and the largest group. This was a group of people who had my shared experience. I knew while looking at that data that I was not alone. And I knew that if I had taken that poll, I probably would have been part of that 48%. So now I'm talking about a project. For my project, I wanted to learn to play the song Clair de Lune. You've probably heard it before. It's in very many commercials. And in case you haven't heard it, I have a video right here. So that's just an example. As you can tell, that's not me playing the piano. The problem with that song is the difficulty. It's a very difficult song. It's taking my skill level to a new level that I hadn't attempted before. But I wanted for my project to try something that was difficult. The project has accountability baked into it, so I wanted to strive for something that I thought I couldn't do. This is a piece where normally at my previous skill level, my previous habits, it would have taken me 6 months, maybe a year to learn, which is not a fun experience for me or my teacher. I don't know if any of you take lessons, but you really can't fake being able to play a song. I have tried that before, and it does not work. So So as I sat down for that first day of practice, I felt quite nervous. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to learn the entire song. I'm generally pretty lazy, and I'm also a procrastinator, which means I have no perspective for what I can or cannot do in a set amount of time, in a deadline. So I really thought I'd given myself the impressive job of doing an impossible task for this assignment. But lucky for me, the first page was pretty easy. I could play it slowly by the end of the first day. That's the part that was in the clip that you saw before. So confidently, I turned to the next page. And the difference was staggering. I can hear the laughs. You can see it too. Looking at that second page made me really question my song choice. And over time, I was able to learn it. However, the progress was very slow, which left me quite frustrated. So I had to find a way to repurpose those negative emotions of anxiety and guilt into something that would help me progress with my project. So I ended up prioritizing effort overall. If I tried, then the outcome didn't really matter. I was okay if I didn't get to the point I wanted to in the song that week, if I'd given it my all. This became my most vital tool to keep progressing. It allowed me to continue without worrying about how much progress I'd made, and it was the thing that allowed me to get to the end of my project with success, not failure. So let me tell you about the key takeaway that I think is really useful. If you weren't listening or you zoned out, just come back for 1 minute. Here's something you never had. You have to do something you never did. The problem when I started playing piano was my mentality. I took it as far as it would take me. I felt that even though it was something that I had loved, something that was a part of me, it wasn't important enough for my time. But this project helped me to realize that it's one of the most rewarding aspects of myself. And I think the best way to transfer that to you is with a quote I heard. I want you to imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghosts of the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, "We came to you because you could have brought us to life, but now we have to go to the grave together." So I ask you, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? Thank you. Any questions? Any questions?
What's your favorite song to play?
Sir Ryan Clifford.
That's my question. You pick me. Why piano?
It's the easiest instrument. Like, anyone could go up to a piano and just like click a key and it's gonna make a note, right? So like you can get into piano, it's very accessible to people, whereas like I've tried guitar before, thank you Luke, and it was not fun. It's hard, it's more difficult. So it's easy. Mr. Kyle?
So you tackled Claire de Lune.
Yeah.
Do you want to stick with piano? And if you were to stick with it, what's the next piece you want to learn?
I think I probably will stick with it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna really focus myself onto another big piece yet. I kind of want to just kind of float around to songs that I think sound nice. I know it's kind of funny, but I'm trying to learn the song Ratatouille right now, like the theme for that. That's a fun song I like to learn. I like to learn some jazz pieces, but those are typically more difficult. You know, they're gonna have more, strange chords and more hand work. So yeah, but I think I will stick with it. Anything else? All right. Thank you.